Hey guys, this is
Love
Love
and
and
Chaos,
Chaos.
and you're listening to Texas Toast Podcast. Yeah.
So let's go.
I'm so excited to welcome a couple of very special guests, Kendall Beard and AJ Vallejo from Love and Chaos. Welcome to the podcast, y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
So glad to have you. First of all, I have to say, I love your earrings, Kendall.
Thank you.
Those are too cute.
Thank you.
I didn't
Appreciate
even,
it.
you know what? I'm a total guy. I didn't even notice you had them on.
But AJ, you're looking good too. It's so
Thank
great
you.
to have
I
both
didn't
of
wear
y'all.
my earrings today, but
You got some nice bracelets.
I got my man jewelry. Yeah, I got
There
my
you go. There you go. So yeah, let's start off by talking about I had the chance to witness your amazement on the stage at the Texas Regional Radio Music Awards just a couple of months ago. It was a big night for y'all. Of course, y'all hosted the Future Faces show, performed there, received the award for new group, duo, band of the year. So what was that whole experience like for y'all this year? I know AJ, you've been nominated for producer and
Yeah.
then back and forth. But that was just like seemed like it is really an energetic, electrifying night for Love and Chaos.
It was a great night for us. Yeah, because I've been nominated a couple of times. Producer, keep losing to Stormy Cooper. It's okay because he's awesome. But it's great to be nominated. But man, to sit there, we were sitting there like, and Kendall was like, I'm gonna throw up because when they were announcing the nominees, but to hear your name, and then win, that's a cool. It's just anybody will tell you that it's the coolest thing ever. So
it is. Yeah. It was just the whole, it was like I said, it was a big couple of nights for us getting, I think this is our second year in a row to do the Future Faces hosting. Third year. Time flies.
We were only supposed to do it 1 year, and then Dave and Tammy were like, y'all did such a great job. Y'all are going to do it until y'all die. Yeah, we were like, oh, maybe a couple of years, but yeah. So
yeah, it was, and it was super exciting just to get to be a part of it all and get to ask to, play the show. We played our, single, and I had been getting over like a terrible respiratory infection. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sing, and and so just finally making it through, and then winning that award was just such a great feeling.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, it was super cool. I was just like in amazement because I had missed a Future Faces show the year before, and y'all came through the media center, and immediately I was like, these are my people. Like when y'all came through, we sat down, we just had barely any time to visit at the table in the media center. So it's so cool that we can have an extended visit here. Let's talk a little bit about y'all individually. Kendall, you're busy. You're a mom. You were a finalist for American Idol, but talk a little bit about your musical background, when you started singing and how you got involved in the whole business.
Yeah. Well, I started really young. I started probably 12 or 13, like actually performing on stage. And I started kind of doing the Texas rodeo circuit. And also back then they had, I don't think there's very many of them anymore, Texas Opry houses and all of these small towns where you could go and you do these shows on the weekends, and they have a house band. So on the weekends, my dad would take me from all over Texas, from rodeos to Opry houses. And I just, started singing and doing all of that. And then I actually was signed in my from like 15 to 18 to a 3-girl pop group out of New York and Philadelphia, and did all of that with like major label stuff. And then the whole industry collapsed after 9/11 and after Napster with internet music.
Oh, yes.
So all the major labels started going bankrupt and everything went crazy. And so I just decided I was going to go to college, and kind of didn't know if I'd ever do music again. But after college, kind of the bug bit me, and I went on American Idol, and I started working on an album with AJ. And then just after Idol, I was lucky to be on the show long enough to have kind of a following back in Texas. So had a nice little platform to build on. And AJ produced my first record, which I worked on during the year after Idol when we couldn't do anything.
Right.
And then so that's kind of how we started, working together. And I've put out a couple of full-length solo albums myself, and somewhere along the way, we formed Love and Chaos.
Yeah.
Well,
Kind
AJ,
of took off on its own,
Yeah.
It's really cool.
right. So AJ, just a little brief on you. And I know that you've been in the business for a long time, and I know that you have some background as a youth in El Campo,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
home of Greek brothers and the El
Yeah.
Campo icebergs. But
Yeah,
you
the
were with your
Rice
brothers
Birds, baby. Yeah.
with
Yeah, I grew up in El
yes,
Campo. I was born in Wharton, Texas, because
awesome.
when I was born, El Campo didn't have a hospital, so we had to drive to Wharton.
Yes.
Born, I mean, all my brothers and sisters were born in Wharton because it shows my age, but El Campo didn't even have a hospital yet.
Well, and that's how it was back then. It was like in this whole region, because I'm in Matagorda, but I
Okay.
grew up in Sealy, and it was either go to Wharton or go to Katy to have your babies back
Right.
then. Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much. So back to
So-
El Campo.
God bless my mom. She that she had to wait for in the back of a car, but yeah. So we grew up there in El Campo, and that's where a lot of my family is. My relatives are still there, and I have a lot of background there. And then, but Austin just being a music town drew me to this place, and then we got signed to Sony. South by Southwest is a big conference here, and we got signed through them back when they used to sign bands. Now that they're doing,
You forgot to say that you had a band with your brothers.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay, but my band,
If you're listening to the radio,
Yeah,
you're
she-
like,
I'm gonna let her tell the story. She knows me more better than I do. But
he formed a band with his brothers called Vallejo.
that's right.
Right.
And then we were signed to Sony, but we got signed from the South by Southwest convention that they have here, and we were signed to Sony, and we, it was great. And around all the same time when Kendall was doing her thing, so we had a great record. We enjoyed a lot of great tours. We opened up for everybody from Aerosmith to Stone Temple Pilots to Black Crows, and it was awesome. But then again, the collapse of with the 9/11, the collapse of the industry labels, just major labels who had such a stronghold on the music industry for years and years and years. When the streaming thing started showing up, where people could decide on what they wanted to. No, I want that song. I don't want that whole album because.
Well, and most of the time they were stealing. They weren't paying anything
Yeah.
for it at the time. That was the thing. Before
Yes.
iTunes finally figured out how to monetize it,
Yeah.
but
Right.
at the time it was just free music.
Yeah, but in hindsight, I think it's kind of like it almost happened for a reason because major labels were putting out. I'm not saying they were put out bad music, but they just were throwing everything out, and say one album had one good song, and then the rest of the album wasn't good. They weren't. Back in the days, the classic albums like Led Zeppelin, where you could listen to a whole album front to back, or Aretha Franklin album, great albums. I think they just got greedy and started just putting out stuff. So I think that's where music consumers started fighting back and going like, we only want to pick the songs that we like. We don't want to pay for a whole album of stuff we don't like. So all that collapsed, and then my brothers and I started a label here in Austin because there's so much music here, and then we all became producers, and then that's when I started producing Kendall's record, and we started working together. And then I had a solo project aside from Vallejo, and then she started doing her solo thing, and we started playing together. And I played guitar with her, but then at the end we would kind of do, the encore. We'd kind of do 2 or 3 songs together, and the reaction with that was really strong. And then a major label came to see both of us separately, and we were like, "Hey, what'd you think?" And they were like, "We love what y'all do, but whatever that was at the end, y'all should do that." And then at first we were like, "What is that? What the hell does that mean? Like we suck separately?" So, but we kind of thought about it a little bit, and then it was the holidays, so we took a break and we went separated, went our own ways during the holidays, and then the new year we just came in the studio right here and started recording, and man, it was like really fast. We showed up with a lot of songs, and it's kind of weird because it started out as a side project, but now it's kind of become our main project because it's taken off a life of its own, and we're very we're happy. I mean, it's a cool thing. It's a cool thing to be where we're at right now. So
It is a super cool thing with the whole story of y'all coming together and just doing such a good job with your music and your performances. And so congratulations on Wildflower #1.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the background on that and coming together with Willie Braun from Reckless Kelly to put that project together.
Yeah, well, Willie Braun and the Reckless Kelly guys, they're and the Braun brothers as well. when we first moved to Austin, the Vallejo brothers, any band, those Lonely Boys, any band that was brothers, we all had like a, hey, we are brothers too, let's all hang out. So
Oh,
we would hang out. Reckless Kelly had a band house on the east side up there, and we thought we were wild. We would go to their house and we were like, wow, these guys make us look like altar boys. But we would just hang out and have, sing-alongs, and I mean, literally watch the sun come up and stuff like that. So we've been friends for a long time. And then Kendall and I were working on Willie Braun of, hey man, we're looking for somebody to maybe collaborate with, to write with. And he almost kind of scoffed. He was like, oh, what about me? Like, and I was like, oh, of course, we'd love you to write with us. So I wasn't thinking, I was maybe thinking you would like, didn't want to, or could recommend us to somebody, but he was like, no, man, I would love to. So he came to the studio and we just started hanging out right around here. There's a couch on the other side of here, and we just sat around here and just started throwing ideas out. And he actually came up with the hook for Wildflower, and we were like, it perked our ears. We were like, wow, okay, now that's good. So then we all did it together. So on the recording, you actually, the third part harmony, that's actually Willie. So we're all three very much involved in that track, and we love it, and we thank him for it. We still have yet to have a number one party, but he's moving around and we're moving around, so we haven't celebrated yet. So we're one of these days we will.
We're due.
Yeah, we're due.
yeah. Well, you need to make some plans because Come Back to Bed's moving up real quick too. I noticed it was most added. We got a lot of numbers coming in, a lot of traction on the Texas Country Music Chart that was just released recently. So
and
good job on that one.
Thank you.
And there's a little bit of a sophomore anxiety, because we're wondering okay, is this going to be? You always wonder what that next one's going to do.
Yeah.
So we're really happy. Whatever happens with the single, we'll be grateful. We're already grateful for the traction that we're getting. So the fact that it shot up so quick in 1 week from 60 to 47 is we're like, yay, so we're happy.
Very.
Yeah, that's a good indicator. So let's talk about, I see you're in the studio. So how do you decide on what's next? What is next for y'all?
We're working on a new album that we've been working on for
a while,
a long
time.
So basically we were going to release it right before the pandemic, March 2020. We were like, we were going to launch a whole campaign, and
we had it all
tour,
ready,
the whole tour and everything. And then, as everybody knows, what a weird time where, everybody go home, for a couple of weeks, go see what happens.
Right.
Weeks turned to a month, a year later, we're like, oh my God, what's going on here? And then also, in hindsight, again, other things came back a little quicker. Obviously, things like work and stuff like that for other people. But the music came last. It felt like the clubs, because your clubs. I mean, what is a live music venue? It's a place where we pack 300 people in a small room. So those were unfortunately kind of the last thing to kind of come back, and so of course that's not conducive to an album release. So we pushed it back. We also, like Kendall was saying earlier, kind of like the songs kind of took on a different. We play them different now than we did when we wrote them. So we started listening to our recordings and going like, they don't sound the same.
Yeah. So we've been working on this album, for a while. Like I said, we've luckily, we've been releasing singles, which a lot of people, that's all they do anymore, is just release singles.
Yes.
So, we're lucky that we've had so much material that's good enough to be released as singles, until we can release the full album, because some people don't release full albums anymore. But we really have been working on this for a long time and wanted to release a whole body of work. And the reason it's kind of taken us so long is it's been a blessing in disguise, because if we were to release that album back before when we originally planned to do it, it wouldn't be as good as it is going to be today. We have different songs, we've added stuff to it. We have revisited songs that we thought were where they needed to be, but as we've changed as artists and our sound has matured and grown, we've got that opportunity to go back and fix these songs before we release it. So we're really super close to releasing the album. We don't have an exact date, but we are our own worst enemy because we're both real big perfectionists.
Yeah, and also when do you tell two producers when their album's done? I mean, it's like when they know they can make it better. But we feel like we're at the end. Like, I mean, right now, the song behind us is a song, a live favorite that everybody loves. But we recorded the whole song around 2020, and then we just realized just 2 months ago that it's in the wrong key. Because now we play it in a different key.
Not that it's in the wrong key, it's just that it needs to be sang in a different key.
Yeah.
And so basically we have to redo the whole song.
So you got to basically re-record the whole song. So that's what we're doing now. The fortunate thing is you don't have to re-record the drums because they're not in a key. So like,
True.
Got it.
But everything else we had to re-record, and we're now, it's all done. So we're basically we're tweaking the vocals right now. So that's kind of maybe 70% of the holdup of the record. Once we get done with that, we'll be able to hone in on a release date.
So y'all just have such good teamwork going. And one of my questions I was thinking about with y'all when I was first, I woke up this morning, I was like, yay, I get to talk to them this morning. And I was thinking about, getting to know y'all and seeing you perform. And it's like, is there between the two of you, like say, for instance, AJ, does Kendall have certain strengths or tasking that, how do y'all just intertwine this? Like, I'm sure both of you have some different qualities or tasking or some strengths that brings it together.
Yeah. I mean, that was all stuff we figured out early on. We've been working together for going on 12, 13 years now. So, I mean, starting with her producing, I produced her 2 solo albums and her debut album as well. So we've learned how to work together, and it's not always been easy. We both have strengths and weaknesses, but the good thing is we've gotten in such a rhythm now. Like, we don't even think about things like that. We're very, I'll go in the vocal booth's right over there. When it's my turn to sing, I go in there. She mans the board. She's the engineer. We don't have engineers. We do everything together. That's everything you hear is us two. Yeah. If there's some steel that we'll bring in some session people, but I do all the drums. I do the bass. I do the guitar. She does all the guitar, all the vocals you hear. Everything is right. We do it right here.
Well, I mean, and obviously, I mean, AJ is so talented he can play any instrument he basically puts in his hands. So which I cannot do. So I mean, having that, I mean, he knows everything, the ins and outs of the engineering. I think I'm you're
getting pretty good. She's getting good at the
I'm learning, but I'm very technical in my ear and kind of hearing things that need to be changed or fixed musically.
Yeah. She has a very, very, like me, I'm getting older in my age, but producing my ears. I don't hear things. So, and she's like, do you hear that? And I'm like, no, I don't. She's like, that noise is there. Like,
or these notes aren't right, or this harm, so, I mean, I think we both, it's a great collaboration because we do have different strengths in certain areas, but, I think our biggest, combination strength is kind of our background and style, which kind of has created our unique sound. I come from a very country background, and AJ comes, a country pop background. AJ comes from a very rock background. And so, I think that's what has made our sound kind of unique is that, and a lot of our writing styles is the combination of putting those two sounds together.
Yeah.
So, and I think, I mean, especially in the new album is where I think a lot of people are going to hear it.
Yeah, you hear a lot of that. And the singles, it's crazy because the singles that you're hearing, like Wildflower and Come Back to Bed, those are very, driven towards an aesthetic of radio and, pop, country, whatever you want to call it. And I don't say pop like Justin Bieber. I mean, like popular music, but record has a lot of those same kind of ideals, but like the record is more of a journey into kind of what we've been going through the past 5 years. I mean, there's all kinds of hints of our personal lives, both separately and with our 2 families, and then the touring and some of the pandemics creeped in there, and because it's such a weird world that we've all lived in the past 5 years. Here we are relatively back to normal. It's a louder, madder world, but like it's also a kinder, cooler world. So like all those things hopefully you'll get to hear that stuff in the record. And that's what's the cool thing about music, that it's therapeutic in that sense,
Yeah.
Yeah, the cool thing about music, and that's some exciting stuff you're talking about. The cool thing about music, how it can be a release and a happiness, and also can live shows as well, and people bond. And y'all are out. You're getting ready to go over to Cabo.
Yeah, we
I'm
are
excited. That's
playing Big Cabo Fest. We're
Yeah.
leaving on Sunday,
yeah.
which is Roger Krieger and
Kevin
Kevin
Fowler,
Fowler's started out as their festival, and now it's they're
It's
still
grown.
the main headliners, but
But
it's
man, the
getting,
lineup is
Yeah.
crazy. Everybody's
we
there's
got
a
some
lot of
fun
people. Yeah, a
people.
lot of people going down there. So
We're really excited.
we're stoked to be a part of it, and we've become friends with all those guys. So we're just all gonna have a good old time and play some music, and get in the sand and have a good time.
It's going to be a great time. It's always so much fun when our Texas country music family can get together and meet everyone. And I know I have friends that go every year to that festival, and every year I can't go. It's kind of like the
Oh,
steamboat
man.
thing. I'm always tied up then.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, do some fishing, have some beach and fun for me.
Yes.
Sure.
Tell your
You're-
friends to come see us when we play. I know
Yeah.
there's multiple stages going. So
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so there's something else I didn't discuss, and that is how you came up with the name of Love and Chaos, because that's interesting.
Yeah.
yeah,
We still don't know the true
it
concrete.
came out really naturally. We were kind of thinking about what is life, what is love, what's relationships, what's music. And I think, it's kind of that like balance, that kind of tug of war feeling,
The yin and the yang.
the yin and the yang. And I think that I don't know who threw it out there, but I think we were like love and something. So I mean, you can't really have one without the other. And
Mhm.
for us, that's kind of what love is. Love is chaotic. The music business is such a creation and passion of love in general, like working in this industry, but
Mhm.
it's so chaotic at the time, and it's so it just kind of felt like love and chaos,
They coexist together.
they coexist together, but it's just so much of kind of like description of everyday life, not just for us,
Yes.
but for everyone, and just trying to find that medium, that balance.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes it weighs more to one than the other,
and I think a lot of in our songs kind of is that some of our songs are they're love songs, and then the other songs are about the downside of relationships, chaos, which can be chaotic. So I don't, and also we just like the way it rolled off the tongue. Love and chaos is like, what is
Yes.
it? And like,
Yes.
it's
Well,
very interesting, because we were trying to come up with some names like, something that you hear a lot, maybe, something revival, or the something review, or the something Southtown revival, or South, something Texas. And we were like, we wrote down 3 pages, and we were like,
Yeah.
And then we don't remember when Love and Chaos showed up, but when we just kept going back to it, and we were like, what is?
Yeah.
And then we even thought, we were like, is chaos, is that too dark of a word? And then we were like, that's okay, you know what I mean? But because it's attached to love, so like,
yes.
so I don't know, and now it makes complete sense. Like, it literally is like we are truly loving chaos. I mean, so
Let me tell you, I got some love and chaos up around here with me and my guy. It's love, and then it can get so chaotic to where it's like, well, let's go back and let's start over. Especially when we're trying to load the boat and go fishing and get people on the boat, and I'm safety first. And did you check the plugs? Did you do this and do that? But yeah, we have that love, and then we have that chaos. It's working
Yes.
together with the
Total
different
sense,
things that we do. Yes.
it makes total sense. And
Mhm.
we've just been fortunate that we because once you get the name, you're kind of stuck with it, right? So like we're always grateful that we got a cool name, because
Yeah.
we think, everybody's like, that's a cool name. Like, we're like, yeah, we know. We know.
Well, y'all are too cool. Y'all are awesome. So I'm going to
Right.
do something different, because I was really thinking about this, because y'all are so much fun, and I've never done this on the podcast, but since your 2 minds are here and I got both of you, I'm going to give you one word, and y'all just blurt out the first thing that comes to your mind, and let's see how we go with each other. Is that good?
Oh, Lord,
Okay.
okay.
Ready? Okay.
Yeah.
First one is beach.
Beach, sand.
Tequila.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Don't ask me where this came from. Coyote.
Ugly.
That's what I was gonna say. Ugly.
Okay, score on that one. Hair salon.
Mohawk.
Die.
Smell. Okay, home run.
Hot dogs.
High school.
And last but not least, tacos.
Tuesday.
Tequila.
Tequila.
There you go, it's on AJ's
So here
mind.
we go. Always the last question is, okay, AJ, start it off. If you were a cocktail, what would you be?
Oh my God. I'll just be a shot of whiskey straight up.
Not the tequila.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
Kendall.
Oh
And-
gosh. I think
Whatever it would be, it'd have an umbrella in it.
yeah, I was like, I think I would do like we make this drink, which we haven't made this summer.
Oh yeah.
We need to do that. We call it when we were doing when we were doing pandemic stuff and we did
Live stream.
live stream shows,
Uh-huh.
we would make these drinks that we'd freeze a bunch of cut up watermelon and we would throw that in a frozen watermelon with vodka
Mint.
and mint leaves and maybe sometimes some lime and blend that. And it was just
Delicious.
like, so good. That's the drink I would be.
It literally, that's a drink. That drink is so good. It tastes so good that you'll drink 5 of them and forget why you have the buzz that is coming.
You're like,
You're like, oh my God, because it tastes like you're drinking it's just so.
it's
fresh,
not.
yeah.
I like to think it's not a terrible drink for you. It's fresh watermelon. It's not like a bunch of soda.
Yeah,
It's
or
just
sugar.
It's just straight watermelon and vodka.
And the mint
ice,
leaves.
and
Yeah,
mint.
and the mint leaves makes it so it's just so refreshing.
Yeah.
So you should try it. Really
I'm
good.
definitely going to try it because that's in my wheelhouse. Because my girls, they'd make their own, like they'll get some water and put like cucumbers in it, or I think mint in it also, or something else. But you need to name that drink, Kendall.
I
Yeah, I
know we do.
You do.
You wanna
Maybe
make
in Cabo, I'll get it
name,
on
yeah.
the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Make a name for
You want to
it.
make sure because a lot of people say, "Hey man, I made that internal," because they'll let you want to make sure you want to freeze the watermelon because people what
Make
they'll,
them like ice cubes.
yeah, what they'll try to do is they won't freeze it and then they'll put ice in it and it gets watered down. You don't want that. You want the frozen because you want kind of like a smoothie consistency. So it's really good.
Yum.
I know. I'm like,
I think we're gonna make some
It's
after we
gonna
get
be
off
Tuesday.
here.
I know. I'm gonna tell Mr. Chaos to pick up some watermelon.
yeah, he do it. Yes.
Mr. Chaos, I love that.
Oh my gosh, y'all have been so much fun, and I can't wait to catch up with y'all again and see y'all. And thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for
It's
having
been a
us.
blast.
It's been great.
Thank you, AJ and Kendall. Love and chaos, y'all. Cheers.
care.
Cheers.